Yo, what it is, YouTube? Is your boy DC coming back with another bullseye of a video here today on the channel. I want to show you how you can get upfront vocals that stand at the forefront of the mix. Sometimes you can find yourself in a situation where your vocals get buried like some treasure in the ground, and I want to help you figure that out, how you can fix that and get them to cut through. All right, so don't forget the first thing to subscribe if you like the video. Don't forget to like and comment down below. Give me more video ideas so I can keep this going, and let's play the track.
I can't give this up, knowing all that I was. Don't diss like they say it. Just talk how you really mean it, and move if you're still breathing. Move, baby, it's just hard, and only you can judge if I deserve your trust. Baby, it's just hard, and only you can judge if I.
All right, so you got an idea what we're working with here today. A really dope sounding song. This song sounds like it's ready for the radio. In my opinion, I love working on this track. Shout out to the artist Just Bloom. All right, so most importantly, sometimes I remember the first time when I was learning how to mix, and I asked the person who taught me how to mix, I asked him how to make my vocal cut a little bit forward, and he told me, okay, Nick, all you gotta do is just turn down the beat. And turning down the beat is what makes the vocal sound up forward. And for, a little bit that kind of did work, but over time I realized, when I started doing stuff on my own, that it's not only just about volume, but also the nuances. There's also certain characteristics, certain ear signals that tells your ear, hey, somebody's close up to me. You know how when somebody just talks a little bit closer, you kind of hear like more bass and certain stuff like that. So there's certain characteristics, maybe you hear a little bit of the mouth smacking a little bit more. You hear more of the nuances and the lips bickering, the spit coming out, the saliva. That's what makes you perceive the things up forward. So let's look at this. Okay, so first of all, what I like to do to get my vocals up forward is definitely I like to use a limiter. Okay, so the thing about a limiter is that it kind of squashes the vocal because it has a fast attack and a fast release. It kind of like holds it, right? And that kind of makes the mid-range pop out a little bit more.
I can't give this up, knowing all that I was. Don't diss like they say it. Just talk how you really mean it, and move if you're still breathing. Move, baby, it's just hard, and only you can judge if I deserve your trust. Baby, it's just hard, and only you can judge if I.
So imagine the beat, because like the Faraday limiter, it's squeezing it. Imagine when you squeeze a lemon, right? When you start squeezing lemons into a cup, what do you get? You get concentrated lemon juice, okay? So it's kind of like, because we're squeezing the vocal with the limiter, a dB or here or two there, it's not working all the time, but because we're just kind of squeezing it with that limiter, it's giving us more of a concentrated version of the vocal, which makes it easier to hear and making it feel up forward. So that's why I like to use limiters a lot. The next way that I like to do it too is something like parallel compression. But on the parallel compression, remember, it's the transients, right? And I usually like to use something like slow attack parallel compression. If you use fast attack parallel compression, it will kind of just like give a squash version that will make it feel more dense. But I noticed that slow attack parallel compression works a little bit better to make vocals sound forward, because now that you've doubled up your transients, you kind of made it louder, but you've doubled up your transients though. And the transients is like the mid-range, the impact, all that stuff we was talking about. That makes stuff feel more forward too.
Burning up, beat is young and drunk in love. Every song I listen to starting to sound like me. You got me watching how I'm treating you. It all sounds like what we've been on the front page in the Escalade on my job day. It just won't be the same. They make way more than I do, and all they keep singing, nobody's just you. Only difference is the stage.
I love using this preset, vocal presence, on the Abbey Road RS124. You need to also make sure that the flow of the rapper goes with the release time. Here, you don't get to control the release time too much, because even when you put it on fast, it's still very slow, So that's something to be aware of too. That release time got to move with that vocal as well. Another great way that I like to get my vocals to be up forward too is, by the way, I process the beat. If you're only working with the 2-track beat, something that you can do for yourself is maybe you do like a couple of very small EQ notches notches. Like literally, just these couple EQ notches will make your vocal come forward because there's gonna be some redundant frequencies in between that are like the little annoying brother that are standing in front of the lead vocal, kind of like distracting from the actual lead vocal, making them feel like they're standing behind the little brother and not in front.
I'm hoping you slip in moments I can't react, cause you're broken. I know there's reasons you won't come back. In these 4 walls, I get reminded of what we had. They might wear more than I do, and all they keep singing about is just you. Only difference is the stage, still on the same page. You show me how to dodge what I'm going through. All this
So it honestly sounds like the vocal just got louder. Like I brought it up by a dB just because I started to take out some of those redundant frequencies, and I don't do like a bunch of them. I might do 2 to 3 max little notches where I hear like, that's kind of stepping in front of the vocal. And then, if you actually do have the stems, what you can also do too is like, you can always try to go in there. Some people like to use track spacer, but for me, I just find that one frequency, because there's always one frequency that the vocal shares with the instrument, that if you kind of just cut it out in the music, it makes the vocal a little bit more forward too. So I'm gonna go to a little bit more busy part. By bringing in a little bit of that notch, finding wherever that conflicting frequency is, because there's always going to be one in the mid range, right? Because you want your vocal to be wideband, you want it to have low end, you want it to have low mid, you want every instrument to have everything. You feel me? You want everything to have its full body, its full personality. You feel me? So that's why sometimes you just gotta narrowly just go in there, maybe like 3 dB, 4 dB on the main instrument. If you have the 2-track beat, don't do it like this. If you break down the stems and you have the stems, then you can do something like this, like an 8 dB move. If you got the 2-track beat, then you might only have to do 1 dB. But whatever it is, there's always like this little mid-range frequency. If you just kind of cut it out a little bit, it will help your vocal cut through. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not there, okay? And I also wanted to talk too about, like using things like the like bus compressors and stuff too, because certain bus compressors will make your vocal come forward. I know like the API 2500, it has a VCA topology, and this VCA topology is going to do a great favor for us, because just the components alone is going to make the vocal jump forward. Like it's just going to put more emphasis on the mid-range, because that's just the harmonic density of the VCA topology. That's why, like SSL bus compressor, they say, oh man, it adds so much punch. Well, because that harmonic density of the VCA and also the transformer as well is going to, add more weight. It's going to add that Sharpie highlighter onto the mid-range. So that's why people say, oh, SSL makes everything more punchy and stuff like that. It glues and stuff like that. It's because it's putting on a mid-range emphasis. Other compressors might have like different characteristics too, different density areas. Like an optical compressor is more like a high mid focus, because it's got like the tube output, as well as the optical component in itself just has a high mid density to it. That's why it sounds good as fuck on vocals. That's why people like, oh, I use an LA2A on my vocals, I use a CO1B on my vocals. We might not realize it, but it's like the harmonic density where it's adding the weight at. So let me show you how this makes my vocal sound forward. This bus compressor alone, without no compression.
Give this up, knowing all that I was. Don't dislike the shit. Just talk how you really mean it, and move if you're still breathing. Move, baby, it's just hard, and only you can judge if I deserve your trust. Baby, it's just hard, and only you can judge if I deserve your trust. I'm hoping you slip in moments I can't react, cause you're broken. I know there's reasons you won't come back. In these 4 walls, I get reminded of what we had. Is there a subject?
So just understanding a little bit of those components in general just kind of helped me make my vocal sound more forward. And this is another plugin too, even the Verimu. Understanding that, like I said, the tubes give high mid. It's also got a transformer in it. But like even this, like no volume added, just a little bit of tube, the default settings, this makes my vocal come forward too,
Give this up, knowing all that I was. Don't dislike the shit. Just talk how you really mean
So that's why like I be trying to replace this plugin, but I just can't fucking replace it because it always just it's like a part of my sound, and I just like how it brings the brightness too as well. So those are some great ways to add, presence and get your vocals to be up front. So we went over like slow attack, parallel compression, taking advantage of limiters because how they squeeze the mid range and push it out. We also talked about how just doing like a few little notches on your EQ, on the 2-track beat is great. But if you have the stems, always try to go on the music bus and try to find where you can make a little bit of space with a nice little notch EQ. We also talked about how like that master bus compression is also another great way, understanding harmonic density to make lead vocals be up forward in the mix. Okay, so if you guys like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments what are some secrets or some ways that you like to make your vocals go up forward in the mix. Let me know. I would love to try some stuff out too and learn from you guys too. Just want to say thanks a lot, my YouTube gang. Appreciate y'all. Peace.